Hello. Today we're doing a three-parter. Billy Corgan, Kurt Cobain, Courtney Love. What are they? What are they not? I'm joined by Rob from AP, Attitudinal Psych.
Hi, everybody.
And he may be dropping some AP nuggets throughout these videos for the AP stands. I currently have a sale on introvert typing videos until Halloween. Or whatever. I forget to, or when I remember to turn it back off. And for Enneagram, and you can also join Rob's super cool Discord and get typed by him in multiple systems.
Yeah, come join the drama, the daily fucking drama of all the Discord people.
The Discord within the Discord.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we're gonna start with Billy C. I know that he types as a five for some reason.
What?
I went into a weird stalk. I started stalking because I like trying to study a bunch of the same type to just see what I'm seeing, and then that's when. So this is where we might disagree, we might not. I think Billy Corgan's a three wing four. I think it's like widely held that he's a four wing three because he's such a like bitch. But
Yeah, he is a bitch.
it's like I find him bitchy, and I find bitchy people. I love bitchy people. So um but I was seeing so much attachment in these to use that term. Yeah, so I'm sorry. To the haters out there. Um uh Sorry, I'm kind of just going on a soapbox rant here, but I
Go
think
for it.
he's
No, there's
funny.
nothing wrong with that.
And I found his blog. How do I share
He
my blog?
self-typed himself as a five?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because
Oh
I think
no.
somebody asked him on the internet and he shared it, or maybe I don't know where I found it.
That seems wrong.
Well, I think it's interesting though because if he's a three, then there would be a competency type overlap.
Mm-hmm.
So, fuck.
Well, he is a 1L in my system, and they're known for being really know-it-all. Yeah.
Where is he? Okay, Billy Corgan. Smashing Pumpkins, obviously, and his own solo work, and he has another band too, but I can't remember what it's called right now. Here's where I'm like, he's not a four.
Tell me.
He owns, or he like has this whole wrestling thing that he does. He hosts like wrestling tournaments, or he like owns a chunk of some wrestling company, and he like live hosts it. He owns like a coffee shop with his wife, who's probably like a 91163. He's like very involved in the community, and I'm not that a four
Hmm.
like couldn't be, but and it's like kind of like basic stuff that he's involved in. It's
Hmm.
like wrestling. Um,
Right.
Also, okay, sorry. In 1 second. Oh, we can look at his Instagram. But he has this to me is interesting because this actually screams shame type to me. He has this birthmark on his hand, up his arm, this like red birthmark.
Oh, I never seen it before.
And this weirdly, to me, it like seems 3, 4, 6, 5 or 5, 6 in the head center because it's like he's kind of got this like deformity, this like sort of monstrous. I mean, I don't give a shit about poor Weinstein's, but it's like this sort of shameful. It's almost like the wing four curse or something of like being
Hmm.
an image type with like also I think five because I think he
Yeah.
was really insecure about it until like recently he started talking about it and he's like I don't know 50 or however old he is.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that, and I've watched a whole bunch of interviews with him.
Well, he used to hide it, he said. Like he used to kind of strategically hide it.
Oh, wow.
But even just looking at him visually, like
Yeah, he just looks like a lot of adaptable types.
yeah. I mean, obviously, like he's super creative and makes really weird stuff. And I think that there's like this whole misnomer that you have to be like a four or like have five or something to be weird. But
Hmm.
I think like your wings
He's
are.
kind of basic there.
Yeah, he's like into Disneyland. I mean, I don't know. I think like everyone has their weird secret basic thing that they do, but
Hmm.
like I
Yeah.
almost think he could be like a three wing four, 5'9", or like a three wing four with a six wing 5 and 9, maybe. How he holds himself looks kind of nine fix.
Yeah, he's just not giving me anything. This is all really flat. He's just not good at like I don't know, still pictures. He's not very good at expressing himself. In my opinion, I think he's much better with video stuff.
Hmm.
Like all his music videos are interesting.
Yeah, he's very talented. Like he's like
Hmm.
incredibly talented. I like love his music.
But this is just like people dropping, like, look at all these people I'm taking photos with. Very social.
Yeah. I lean self-pres social, but I would be open to social self-pres. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could see that too.
Last.
Yeah, I could see maybe self-pres social.
Um, but yeah, he has this like also he blogs a lot and he like puts these blog entries on the internet and these like throughout I don't know, not that other
Hmm.
types can't do that. I feel like they seem to be coming from like the heart center. Like he kind of weaves this
Yeah.
like narrative and a lot of it is like about how like his he didn't get enough love kind of I think for his parents from his parents or like his dad
I
was
don't
a band
know.
and I think he like wanted there was some this sort of three competitive thing about like almost one upping his dad but to get his love like some kind of twisted three thing but
Hmm.
um
You don't think it could be frustration?
no, because I think if you're like a four, you don't even see yourself really as a part of your family. Like it's sort of like these people that I'm like
That's true.
reliant on probably because I sabotage my life all the time and now I have to get money off them or something.
That's true, yeah. I can see that.
But also if Kurt Cobain's a four, then that would make him almost kind of like his shadow and they had this like strange relationship,
Hmm.
this rivalry sort of. The first time I ever witnessed nakedness on a woman is with my stepmother. My brother and I are fighting downstairs while my father and stepmother are up in their bedroom. As it is the early afternoon, the general rule is always to stay quiet during the day, to not wake my father. Things get out of hand between us, and the next thing I know, she's screaming my name, and holy hell from the top of the stairs. Her hair is sticking out all over the place like a dandelion. It's like my hair. Uh, she's still in her underwear. I'm just randomly picking this, but her left breast is
I
hanging.
mean, that's kind of wild. Wearing some sort of loose t-shirt. That's some of that feels six fix too, because he's like, oh, the rules.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's like six wing five if he's six fix.
Yeah.
But he just like he's very like he shares a lot of his life.
Yeah, this is a lot of writing. Holy shit.
We can like watch um I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't find any of
I'm
my
a big
notes
fan.
anymore. Sorry.
I was gonna say you know I'm a big fan of watching people talk a lot.
That's why you like me.
Yes, give me your podcast.
Drugs, like,
Oh, I stop.
why would you say that rock stars do so many more drugs than, say, people in the industrial adhesive industry?
Best guess I can give for it is there is a social aspect to it because you spend a lot of time sitting around. There is the idea that if you're playing whoever you're playing on stage, you can sustain that longer. And then there's other things, which is like the guys in the crew, Molly Crew would tell you, you get so high on stage that you want the show to go on off stage. Is that
Of course.
kind of generally covered?
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Also, you can afford it.
Oh yeah.
And also, people offer it to you. People like go out of their way as a way to curry favor with the band by getting them not just the best drugs, they get them the best everything. That's a way to like ingratiate yourself.
Yeah, we had
with
a
famous person. Here's the best pot ever.
Yeah, we had a guy once. It was when we were still pretty young, but the guy came backstage and he said, "Does anyone have any weed?" And our roadie at the time, he was the weed guy, right? I said, well, that guy. And so he goes, if you can get me some weed, I've got liquid LSD. Okay, we just met this guy.
LSD is always liquid.
No, you can take it in a paper tab. That's
Well, that's putting a drop of the
well,
liquid.
yeah, but I'm saying is we'd never
Shut
taken
up, Bill Maher.
pure liquid LSD.
Well, you certainly wouldn't want to take more than a drop or two.
Hold on. Let's begin the
What do
story.
you think Bill Maher is? Is he like a Karen or something?
I don't know, but Billy's like, shut the fuck up and let me tell the story,
Yeah,
bitch.
it's like well, he's getting mired in the SP detail and accuracy, so maybe this is points for Billy being social self-pres, actually.
Yeah, he looks social self-pres.
You know what? And social self-pres is kind of four-ish in a way because it's so snotty, kind of.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, and also if anybody's watching this that doesn't like, it's
Oh,
just
is this live?
it's like widely held that like that Billy Corgan's a four across like all these Enneagram worlds. Sorry.
Is this on YouTube right now?
Yeah, can you see it?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure if we were just recording or doing
Oh yeah,
live.
we're just recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that, or do you want to go live?
No, that's fine. No.
I'm just not gonna edit them.
No,
So
you're fine.
we just met this guy. And so we go, wait. So if he, the guy over in the corner, doesn't know he's about to give up his pot, who works for us. If he gives you pot, you'll give us this liquid LSD. He goes, yeah. So we go to the guy, you got to give him some weed. He's like, well, I don't want to. No, you're going to give him the weed. So we make him give us weed. And the guy literally, I just met this guy. We literally went like this and he filled our hands and I must have taken like 25 hits of LSD. Just came off stage.
How old were you when this happened?
22.
And what happened?
Tripped your brains out for
You could have died.
fucking 2 days. But that's what I'm saying. I'm getting to your point about drugs being available. You just meet some stranger. Hey man, take this liquid.
Well, now
I also feel like he's trying to sound like a cool rock star right now. I mean, I'm sure it happened, but I don't know about the
Yeah. He just feels very bland to me.
I don't find him bland, but I do see him doing the three thing of like emotion, like pulling you into these like, so he paints like this picture with all of these stories he tells. Like he's very like people-y kind of like
Yeah, I see the people-y thing. I just don't know if that's 3 for me.
do you think he could be a 6, 1, 5?
Yeah. I mean, he's so freaking verbal.
Interesting.
Like 6 would actually be is my first thought now that I'm sitting here thinking about Enneagram. But I'm not going to throw away 4. I still want to look at it just to see what my actual opinion is because I've never really questioned it.
Okay.
So I do kind of want to look at him and be like, what would be a 4 about this? But I don't know.
Yeah,
Right
no,
now he's just giving 6. Maybe he really feels like a 6 right now.
That's
I
crazy.
will say the thing that doesn't feel 6 about him is that he's okay with like correcting what's his face, Bill Maher.
Assertively.
Yeah, he's just like, no, you're wrong. Like, or let me tell my story, dude. Like, shut up. There's something, like, even for a social self-pres, there's something about him that is okay with being a little bit aggressive. I don't know what the word is. Combative.
We could watch one of him when he's younger. I don't know. I feel like he's a heart type, but yeah, I guess I need more evidence. And I did have notes, but I don't know where they are. I feel like my shit just keeps getting deleted from my notes app.
Oh.
You've also explained another thing about rock life, which is why there are so many ODs. And I think the answer is because when you're young like that, you're a fucking idiot. And of course, the combination of being a fucking idiot plus easily available high potency drugs, you're gonna.
We lived it. We lived it. I mean, we had
no. I remember
we've had overdoses and people die and all of it.
I remember doing things,
and it's horrible.
Doing things that, when I look back, I'm like, wow, my God. There was. I remember in college, we're experimenting with everything.
I mean, I think Bill Maher might be a 6, 5. Could be wrong.
Yeah, like what? Self-pres sexual?
Bill Maher?
Or self-pres social?
Kind of like he's throwing out sexual. I don't. It's
Probably
curious.
just self-pres social, like blah blah blah, self-pres stuff.
The type O'Hare lets the type of girls.
No, the
You know what?
roadies
He
would.
has a story. I can't remember where I listened to it. It was Joe Rogan or Howard Stern, where he slept with a shapeshifter. He slept. That he like he's into some conspiracy theory stuff. Like
Yeah,
this is partly also why I started watching some stuff with him because I was like curious. Um, but he manages his image very well with this stuff. This has also made me think he's a three because he's very like cautious. He'll kind of share a bit, but not enough to like be labeled anything
mm,
really dramatic, I don't think, but I don't know.
true. I guess what I'm looking for in this three stuff is how is he looking to be valued? What is he saying to
Okay.
get the person to value him in an interview?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, show that one.
It's really cute there.
Roll when you're ready. Ready, roll. You guys all set?
I mean, he does kind of look 5'6", 6'5" a little bit like visually he sort of has that, but I don't know.
So
Yeah.
talk first about Lollapalooza, if that's okay. How do you feel about it? This is your
Even the way he holds himself, though, is a little bit three-ish. Like it's sort of like three and four, like
Snotty.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's just that space. Like I think Four Wing 3 can do that too.
Hmm.
No?
Yeah, but I
Because
think like
that's
for
kind of
threes,
the
it's like about being cool,
true.
and this
True.
one
Like
very
how am I
definitely looks like
valued
I'm
as the
trying to be cool.
right, how am I valued by everybody else around me?
Yeah.
And how does that make me cool?
Yes.
Well, we need to see evidence of him doing this.
Okay.
first time in the tour, right? In Lollapalooza. Can you talk about that? How it feels to be in that for the first time? Are you looking forward to it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've always wanted to do Lollapalooza, but we just never felt the timing was right or the circumstances were right. It wasn't like we were always waiting, oh, let's wait till we're the headliners or something. We were plenty prepared not to be, but I don't know. We're excited. It's just, we've just been touring for 10 months. It's hard to think about more touring.
He looks totally uninterested. He's just like,
Yeah, he's doing the aloof thing.
yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him. I'm sure it's like at some point you probably do just get over it regardless of your type, where you're just like, oh God, not another one of these fucking like fanboy pointless interviews where they ask the same questions and I want to blow my brains out. I'm so sure it's like, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's definitely not 2-3 space because
No.
I think they do stay acting like they're interested even if they're not.
Well, and this is points against him being 6'2". I feel like he
Yeah.
only meets people when he feels like it, or when the
Yes.
topic is like related to something that he's interested in or that he
Yep.
wants to talk about. I don't feel he doesn't he did like a flicker of self-deprecation, but it wasn't even like real self-deprecation like sixes do.
No.
It was more just like, oh, well, we didn't even expect to be the headliners. Because I feel like threes often like do that thing too, where they like highlight their accomplishments while being like blasé about it, where it's like, oh, well, I don't know how I ended up being so famous. I just won all these Academy Awards. And it's like, no, I'm just some woman from, I'm just some young gal from the farm or something. And it's like not
Mm.
real self-deprecation. I don't know. That was a terrible example.
No, I see that with threes. I'm not sure what he's doing here.
Yeah.
I want to keep watching them.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, I'm trying to figure him out. He's weird.
Have you ever been to Lollapalooza shows before, just as an audience?
No, because most of the times when Lollapalooza's been, like in Chicago, we've been on tour. And, I mean, we had actually other members of the band went the first year because we ran into Jane's Addiction and they invited us to go, but I was so completely out of my mind at the time. I flew home and everyone stayed, so I've never gone. I just had an opinion of it just from everything that I'd heard. And maybe that was better, because if I had gone, I would have been backstage and not had any kind of sense of the shows. So I've always just heard about it from kids that I meet and stuff. So
Hmm. Hmm.
Are you saying
Well,
he's a four?
that sounded kind of fourish. Just because
Yeah.
there's something that he's doing that I see other four fixers do. I even see you do this sometimes.
The wing fours do four stuff.
That's true. That's true. That's what I'm trying to. So now my focus is, all right, what is hexad here and what's attachment? So I'm trying to pinpoint how he's trying to stay attached to this interviewer, and I'm having a hard time finding that.
I
So
think
I'm
three
like,
wing fours are snobs. Like they're totally snobs. It's
I
like,
agree. Yeah.
yeah, like we could have done Lollapalooza, but I didn't feel like it. Like it's like, and you even know from the 1-3 that you um worked for or whatever you like she
Mhm.
like does, and I know that firsthand too, where it's like, oh, I just don't feel like it. Or like I'm not being appreciated. Like I want the red carpet rolled out for me. Like you know what I mean? Like maybe it's like even like I wasn't gonna be the headliner. So like secretly that could be the undercurrent. Obviously I'm projecting, but it's
Yeah.
like or I'm reading into like what it could be, but it's like I could have played it, but
Yeah. To me, it feels like he's not doing either really loud.
I think that
Because
usually means
there's plenty
crap.
of three wing fours that we can look at that just do that very loudly and very obviously. And there's also plenty of four wing threes we could look at that are very much no. Immediate answer, no, you don't get it, you're never gonna get it. So he's not really doing either really loud, in my opinion. So that's why I'm like, what's going on here? I'm trying to
Well,
just see hexad versus attachment.
I got it. Yeah, okay.
So we heard something about the main stage bands having something to do with recommending the other acts that were going to be.
There is one video that I will try to look for if I can find it within moments where he's like being a real cringe fanboy, which made me think like not for, but
Oh yeah, that's definitely attachment points if he's doing that.
it's cute, but yeah, it's like
Lollapalooza. Did you guys have anything to do with that? Or what did you heard about the Fillmore before being asked to play there? Did you know anything?
oh, just that it's like this very historic kind of, it's where all this, the '60s kind of psychedelic San Francisco, culture grew up. And this is always the place that's associated with it. So,
also he's not. It's like I think that these moments in time in his life where he has been a little bit of a shit stirrer or like a little bit of a brat are like what people have latched onto. But I think if you actually look at like his history or like his actual like, which I did watch it like ages ago, but I watched like a ton of interviews and he's actually pretty amiable. Like he's pretty flat,
Mm,
like or not flat, but he's like pretty. He's not provocative. He's not trying to
mm,
ruffle anyone's feathers. He's not trying to constantly push people away.
yeah.
Like, no, no. Like, he's not really doing that. He's sort of meeting people and then just sort of explaining a little bit. Like, so
Yeah,
he's,
I see that. Yeah, I agree.
I've read my Jimi Hendrix books. That's it. That's about as far as it goes.
So does it mean anything in particular to you to be on stage where Hendrix and Janis and all those people?
Well, I doubt I seriously doubt it's the same stage. I put it this way. I can remember being about 22 years old and going, wow, this is where Bauhaus stood. That meant something to me like when I was 22. But at this point now it doesn't mean that.
yeah, it's kind of social self-prezi actually, or like contextualizing places in terms of like the people who are there
Mm-hmm.
and like his heroes and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, he's seeing some sort of hierarchy of people.
He's kind of got a cuteness to him too. Maybe you're right about the six head.
Yeah. He I'm not getting Bermuda though. You know what I mean?
Oh no, not Bermuda. Um,
Like Bermuda, whatever that is, 369 or triple attachment. Are you?
I wish the EU hadn't come up with that because I like saying it too. It's such a
I
good
know it's stuck.
it's just name a tri-type name. Um,
What
Well,
does Catherine call it? Some fucking she has some name for it too that's goofy.
I call it like shapeshifter or changeling. I tried glass slipper for a while. I didn't like that. I can't remember what else I call it, but
Shapeshifter's good. I like that.
nothing really beats, yeah, Bermuda.
Triple blob.
Well, unless he is five wing six head, he does have like a real competency streak in some of the interviews I've watched where he does like to highlight these
I do
skills he has,
see
but
that. I absolutely see that too. And I always just blame that on 1L and AP, but if he's constantly trying to show off his competency, it's like where the hell's that coming from?
yeah, he has to be a competency type, and but I think he's a heart competency. Um,
Mm.
but it make actually okay. Also, here's points for him being a 5'9" stem. Is he holds himself like collapsed, like he has this like so if you're gonna find a three who doesn't really look like a conventional three, it's gonna be probably a
Right.
359 because they look kind of more like withdrawn and like a squiggly worm.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
kind of has a squiggly worm thing, but he's got the cuteness that I do see in the 5665 space, like in the head center. Maybe I'm just making that up though. Maybe they're not cute. And maybe this isn't cute. I don't know. I mean, he does
Not
do
the
the family
Nikki.
stuff a lot. Like my, I definitely think he's three wing four in the heart. Like he does four stuff, but he also like kind of plays the game. It's like he gets. It's like what's that guy Gerard Way or something from My
Oh
Only
yeah, they look
Vampire?
alike.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, and he like thinks that I think he had a maybe he hated him a long time ago. Maybe he thought he was copying him or something, and now they're sort of friends, and he like pretends to be his dad or something. It's like this weird.
Oh,
But he
interesting.
has feuds with people not giving him credit for
Hmm.
stuff. And this is partly why I started watching stuff with him too, because I was trying to figure out where certain type stuff was coming from
Mm-hmm.
that I have. And I was like thinking maybe it's, but I found it has like, there's 3, 4, 7, 8. Anyways, doesn't matter. But um, I don't think he's got a 7 anywhere, but sorry. Do you want me to keep playing or do you want to say something?
No, whatever you want to do. I'm still lost about all of it.
Oh no!
Like I just don't see any strong evidence for anything. Maybe that
But
is
that's a
three.
point for attachment, right?
Yeah, maybe that is 369.
I feel the most flexible on his head center. I don't know what his gut wing is. I think it's 9 wing.
Feels like one.
Yeah, I could go 1. He's
Yeah,
kind of
he's talkie
prissy.
talkie.
Not much.
Do you think that the reopening of the Fillmore signifies anything more than just another place to hear music?
I think it's nice. I think and this is a we seem to we seem not to uh, spend a lot of energy to maintain the integrity of our architecture and culture. You know, I mean, America is a kind of compressed, 200 plus year culture, and it's nice to see people going out of their way. Like in our community in Chicago, people are restoring old movie theaters from the 30s and stuff, and it's really nice to see people still trying to hold on, not out of some sense of nostalgia, but out of appreciation for a time when there was a little deeper level of sophistication as opposed to let's paint all the walls black and stick the bar in the corner. And I mean, we played plenty of places like that, and
Mm,
it's really nice to play in an
That seems social self pres 3 wing 4 to me. With
mm.
5665.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up more of a ew, everything around me is ugly. I'm glad they're changing it vibe.
But he is framing it in like that he appreciate it's what they appreciate and what they value. And it's
Yep.
like the beauty. And I do like I really do think 3 wing 4s have a similar orientation to 4 towards like beauty, aesthetics. Like I actually think 3 wing 4s are maybe even more orientated towards aesthetics than 4s are because 4s are more inwardly pointing and like oh my tragic narrative and like it's like all in support of their tragic narrative, but 3
Yeah.
and 4s are like also like externalizing and internalizing, so it's like they're not that like this is being reductive, obviously like you a 4 can especially an SP4 would whatever. But I think like he's definitely like externally focused in some weird way. So yeah, like I said, I think that's points for him being social self-pres, like you said.
Yeah. And I also saw some six coming in there and trying to kind of like refurbish the past and focus on history and where things came from.
Yeah,
Sixes kind of do that.
yeah. There's kind of like a whimsy to it though that feels heart type.
Yeah, no, I just mean fix. There ain't no way he's core six now that I'm looking at him.
Yeah, he doesn't seem reactive.
No, he's not. He's not pushing any buttons. He's kind of just he just looks like he's so over being there.
Yeah, and six wing fives look like they're well, I mean, he
Paranoid
looks like a
freak.
six wing five here. The only time you can see him looking like a six wing five is when he's riding a roller.
Yeah, pops out randomly. Oh my God.
Yeah, otherwise it's like not interested over at three wing four. Whatever. uh,
Environment that is a little more aesthetically pleasing. It seems to put a nice color on top of the concert.
What about the size of the hall? You've been playing some pretty big venues. Does that feel like
It doesn't really mean anything to us anymore, you know. 8 to 80, you know, 8 to 80,000, whatever.
do you want to talk about any of the influences or acts that have performed here?
No, I'm completely non-influenced talking these days. It's a collar that I've finally seen to remove, and I'm happy to have it off my neck.
What about any other significance this gig has for you?
I just think it's really cool.
yeah, and that seems assertive to me. I mean, wing four as well, but it's like, no, I don't feel like answering that.
Yeah, he just seems over all of it. He's a weird combo because there's so much attachment happening and then randomly like I'm over this.
Yeah. I think like 392 is like the chillest, sort of aloof, kind of,
Mm.
maybe.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I know so many like 379 trifixes that you would never imagine that they're like a three core or seven core.
Mm,
It's just something about that 39, even 359.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like points against him being five fix. I mean, he does throw out these sort of like he just gave some like kind of history lesson about like movie theaters, like a mini history lesson, but he's not, that's not, doesn't seem to be part of his like identity in the sense of
Mm-mm.
like, but I don't know, I'm still like, kind of makes sense to me though if he had like, because I feel like a lot of people with 6.5 think that their head center is five. Although I guess
Yes,
everybody thinks their head center is five, so I mean I did.
absolutely. And sometimes they look like fives. Like I went on a deep dive with these six wing fives, and I'm like, yeah, I can see how this is the six that just doesn't ever feel like a six.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because some of them are insane though and psycho, so it's kind of. But I also weirdly do think that like 369 try are better or easier at like playing cool
Mm,
because they're so tuned in each center to what is like yeah valued and like important and like people. So sometimes like 369 like three cores are actually like really intimidating to me because they're kind of like scary a little bit.
mm-hmm.
We're very surprised and honored that they wanted us to play, but I think it's really cool. That's all.
Can I ask you one? Bill Graham was really known for putting together these eclectic bills, and now tonight you're opening, and Ryan Cooper's going to be here also. Does that have any special meaning to you? That
I think it's great. I wish there was more of that. I think that I mean, we've tried to take out more eclectic acts opening for us, and the shame is that you know, in Middle America, those kind of bands are met with a lot of resistance. And I wish there was more of it. I really do.
That was interesting. It's like I want to be weird. I want to have more weird people around me, but it's just not valued. Like that's kind of what he was saying. It's like sad it's not valued.
Yeah.
It's like core four is like, yeah, like, ew, I don't, well, or at least how I see my own hearts out there is like, I don't want to be valued. Thank you. You don't
Mm.
like you're ew.
Right, like don't get too close. You're gonna
Yeah, you
infect
don't
me
get
with
it.
your basicness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I also think that like core fours also have like unconsciously probably some ego around being the weird or the most eclectic or whatever, like, and they're not going to necessarily want to pull in other people who might. Whereas I think three wing fours specifically will see that and be like, that's going to enhance my image. So I'm going to grab onto that interesting, weird thing to use it as like a tool for my own image.
True. Yeah.
Or at least that's how it seems to me. It could be off the mark there, but I wonder if we can find the simp video. Was it this one? No. I mean, it's probably not even a simp video, but Corgan on Kurt Cobain. Oh yeah, let's watch this.
Okay, I'm going to go down one last avenue just because I want to do this, and then you can say whatever we want. But just the last avenue, and
Keeping with the
this is
theme.
getting personal, but it's a story, isn't it? The story that I heard the other day about Mr. Atencio, my partner for many years here in Los Angeles.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
Tom, once upon a time. So just explain to me.
You know why? You know why I know? You know why it was $1,100? Because she wanted me to give her the money to give back to him.
Okay, because she was going to screw him. Because not screw him, but she was going to screw you, wasn't she? No, okay. The idea was she would go to Chicago to get her band support out on your tour. Is that right? You tell me.
No, that's she. No, she wanted to come. She was in love with me and wanted to come to Chicago to see me, and that's what she told him to get the money.
Oh, she told Tom, "I'll go to Chicago and get on the Smashing Pumpkins tour."
Yeah, I'll go to Chicago and fuck Billy Corgan on a Smashing Pumpkins tour, but he didn't know she'd already fucked me.
Okay, fine. So you give her $1,100.
She didn't have to come to Chicago to get on the tour.
Oh, so she came to Chicago, and
I wasn't expecting her.
didn't she phone you saying should she come?
She called me and said, "Well, how do you feel about me coming to Chicago?" And I sort of ambivalently said, "Sure." And by which she informed me, "I'm already here. I'm at the airport."
And you're with your girlfriend at this point?
Well, my girlfriend at the time wasn't aware of this concept. So I was put in a sort of all of a sudden awkward double bind. Plus, you know, I love Courtney, but, you know, Courtney's not the type of girl you just say, okay, just sit down for a moment, let's just be calm and think this through. It wasn't really like that. So she showed up looking very sexy, you know, ready to rock, as we say in Pumpkin's world. And I kind of freaked out.
That was the most sex last thing I think I've ever heard.
What the fuck?
Very sexy, ready to rock, and as we say in Pumpkin.
Oh my God. He's
Also,
like,
thanks for having SX and
yeah,
being a chaotic combo.
yes,
Definitely there's 7 in there. Well, we'll get
yeah,
to it, but he's also telling it in this very blasé, you know.
yeah. He seems flabbergasted about her.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like flip-flopping on his head center, but I think this is like very like I think this seems social Dom
Yeah,
because he's kind of he's spilling the tea.
yeah, and he's also intrigued that she was moving towards him, which is like that social self-pres sucking, like contra, like sucking people towards you.
Is that what Contra does?
Yes.
Sucking, I feel like I do that. That's an
Yeah, because, you know, Sin Flow is all about moving with people, moving with reality and how the world works and what you're supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. And Contra's like, nope, I'm gonna put a wall on that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, he feels social self-pres to me.
Yeah.
And tossed her out on her ear,
Yes.
not thinking that she was going to walk 5 minutes down the block and run into Kurt Cobain, and the rest is history.
Which she did.
Yeah.
That was when she met Kurt after she threw her out of the hotel.
Well, she'd been with Kurt on some level previously, but it wasn't sort of a full-blown romance. And then she hooked up with Kurt that night. They were together, and then the next morning she called me asking me if she could come over to my place. By which I said, well, if you slept with, Rockstar A, you can't come back to Rockstar B. And I think she went off to Minneapolis, and then next thing you know, they were getting married, and it was all this, thing.
Well, the next thing I heard is that Tensi was watching TV
He has told this story a lot of times, by the way. This is like not the only video on the internet of him talking about what happened. I mean, this guy asked him, but he has no problem being like, basically, like Kurt and Courtney only ended up together because I told her no.
Yeah.
He tells the truth, which is like maybe not common
Yeah.
phrase, but
That's interesting.
version of the truth, anyways. What do you think about that?
I still don't have a strong opinion. I
What?
just
You know what
don't.
though? That's points for him being probably a 369 because I feel like that's what happens. It's like why
He's
we're
confounding.
stealing someone else's nickname. It's the Bermuda. It's the fucking triangle. This is what happens in typing calls too, where you're like, what the fuck am I seeing? What is this? It's like always like, oh, it's 369.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see
Because
that.
if
And
he was
also
like,
some of it is, go ahead.
I was gonna say if his shadow type is like this 451 like arachnid, like double frustration, double withdrawn, and he's got like triple withdrawn technically in his type, and he's got like yeah, basically he's got all the weird types except for 7 technically in his entire makeup. Kind of makes him more like aloof and because I feel like most of the time that most of the time it's 9s or 6s in that try that you encounter, and usually a 6-wing 7 head.
Right.
And often 3-wing 2 hard, at least I think. But so he's kind of got some twists on it.
Yeah, and he's got last. I don't think he's, so that's also kind of weird. Yeah, I just don't have a strong opinion. I could go either way about it. All I know is that I've never encountered somebody like this before, I don't think. Jerk.
Well,
Being an
that's
ass.
what we really want to judge him on.
Yeah, like this.
Really straight.
Oh, it's only 30 seconds.
We see stuff every day on the news, and it's distorted, it's propagandized, and most people know that it's bullshit.
Hell yeah.
What are you going to do about it? What can you do about it?
No, they don't know it's bullshit. Really? I think that's the attachment perspective. They don't know it's bullshit.
Yeah.
How is this him being an asshole?
I'm not a big fan of dead heroes. I mean, you can stand up and wave whatever flag you want. If nobody listens, or they chop your head off digitally now, right?
Why didn't you say 1979?
Because people like you asked for it.
What? How is it? They're being the assholes. Okay.
All you need to know is we're not like every other band, and we think different, we play different, and in the end, we are different.
You know what? This is attachment, ego around their wings. This is what you see all the time where they're like, I'm different. You have ego attachment being different in a way that it's like intentional. That's how I feel like it is, anyways. And think different, 6-wing 5, maybe.
Yeah. Well, if he's got 3-wing 4 and 6-wing 5, those are the two attachment types that just never look like attachment types for me anyway. When I'm typing them, it's always like confusing once I figure it out.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We're not. We don't like to classify ourselves as any one style because we don't think we are. All you need to know is we're not like every other band.
But also because you're adaptable, triple shapeshifter.
I was doing an autograph signing somewhere like late 90s, and this kid kind of shuffles up after waiting in line for 3 hours. And he goes, did you know Kurt Cobain? And I go, yeah, I knew Kurt Cobain. He goes, can I shake your hand? And, okay, I shake his hand. He goes,
Ew.
thank you. And he
It's like
walks away.
Eskimo Brothers. That's like
So he
creepy.
waited in line for 3
That's
hours
it.
to meet me because I knew Kurt Cobain. That's a weird one, right? Like,
How do you even rationalize that? In
I
that
don't.
moment?
I don't, because that's where you want to put a bullet in your head. You know what I mean? Because it's on some level it's so dehumanizing. Like I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah, social first for sure. I don't know. I think social firsts are more clued into being dehumanized by being proxied to people or something. I don't know. I have like a huge trigger around that kind of, you're a resource or something. You're like a means to an end. Because I feel like that's the SPSO perspective, is like you're a means to an end. Like you're a rung on a ladder.
Yeah.
You're feeling, you're like a dick cozy. You're the seat warmer. You're the hole I'm pumping while I find another. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. That's true.
Hey, I only want to, like, it's like if your uncle was, I don't know, I'm trying to think, Humphrey Bogart, and I was a huge Bogart fan, which I am, and the only reason I wanted to talk to you today was because he was your uncle, or like that's so like, is that it?
No,
Like,
yeah. Is that why you like me? That, yeah. Is that the only reason? Yeah.
Yeah.
You only.
You know what? I could also see that being 3/4 space, him being like annoyed by that too, because it's like, um, it's
Yeah, very
a
3/4
sort of
space.
image. It's about me. I'm the movie star.
Yep.
Okay, well, I don't know. Do you still feel like totally on?
I mean, it's one or the other. Like I'm still open to it being 4-wing 3 if it is, but if he is 3-wing 4, it's would make sense of why he's just not giving me anything. Like I want him to just get pissed and frustrated and just go ham about one thing,
Yeah,
but
he hasn't done
he
that at
doesn't
all.
do that. He just gives you like little sprinkles, and I'm waiting for him to give me like the whole fucking sundae, you know?
Yeah, and I think that like his little rant that people caught, it was like he didn't realize he was on camera, or he was drunk or something, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
kind of felt like 6'5"
Mm-hmm.
headspace rant, social sort of. I'm sick of the like NPCs kind of, or like whatever.
Right.
And he did this sort of like three flourish of like, I'm done with you.
Mm-hmm.
3-wing 4, like the show's over, losers. I feel like that can be an assertive thing. Maybe 3 and 7. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. But yeah, not all threes are like shiny polished. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like I can think of any other social self pres 3-wing 469 to like compare. Because the only thing I would shift would be him being 5-wing 6 fix, but
Yeah, I don't see it. There's too much good boy stuff going on. Like
mm.
I'm doing the right thing, and that's got to be coming from some super ego.
Yeah, and the orientation towards his dad, if you read his blog,
Yeah,
like watch those.
the authority. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's like yeah, like wanting to
I
earn
can tell
like
bald head too. So.
Okay, we now have our
love, kind of.
I
I
think
guess
there's
that's
one
just
guitar solo, I mean, that lasts 4 seconds, you know, it's like, I think people are going to be surprised by the kind of reversal in a lot of ways, but the people that say it's acoustic will be wrong. The people that say it's electronic will be wrong. The people that say it sounds like a Pumpkins record will be wrong. I've tried to make something that is indescribable. Besides the fact that Courtney and I have been friends for years, you know, and I knew personally that they were having a hard time. So I kind of came up with the notion of, well, why don't you just give me a month with them and let me just see if I can kind of kick them in the ass, so to speak, and just kind of get the whole record going instead of the band kind of waiting around for Courtney to decide that she wanted to make another album and kind of get the band's juices going. So that's what happened. I got together and, you know, just wrote a bunch of songs with them and helped them with their songs. And, you know, that was all very simple. That's kind of how it started off, you know. We talked about different scenarios about me the term at the time was executive producer, which was just like I was going to be the eye in the sky. I was never supposed to produce on a day-to-day level because that would have meant I couldn't have done this record. And then I suggested that the material was so strong that they get a real producer, someone who I know could bring the album to its full fruition. And that's it. Everything else that's been added to it's just drama stuff. It's as simple as that.
I mean, he does highlight his competency and like his value when he's actually talking about creative stuff.
Yeah, I like when he talks
He
about
does have a
music.
bit of a fourish thing going on there.
Yeah, I do like when he talks about music and the specificity and creating music because he gets real like into, and some of this is my own competency, but he gets real into like the actual composition of music and how he changed it from its original, and then he starts comparing like new age music to old like recording and all the new technology and how it's changed music. Like he goes real in depth into that, which always I found fascinating. So that could be some points for being a competency type.
Yeah,
I
and
can't
I mean,
remember
he
what.
has that sort of the way he was holding himself is sort of this like wounded, sad boy. But if he's like his force like wing 469, then that's like his alter ego type. So he probably leans into that at different times as we do.
Hmm.
Um, during whatever periods we lean into our wing and then we sort of become that other type a little bit sometimes. I mean, at least I feel like I do. Or sometimes we
Yeah.
can just like a real sad sack. Um,
Mhm.
so I think he like and as he's like become older, he's almost like settled into his like true self or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm cool with your typing.
It's our typing. It's our
I
typing.
just I just want to feel like a smoking gun, and I don't feel it at all for either
It's
type.
But that's the problem. That's you don't get a smoking gun with triple attachment because even double attachment sometimes because it's like I can't remember. I think it was like my friend Farah. Oops, I just said her real name, but she said that like threes there's like almost like this haze or this like gauze or like a layer over what they're doing so you can never quite see what they're doing and
Hmm.
it's like you can kind of almost see just flavors of other types because it's like
Well,
there's
sometimes I can, and that's where I'm having trouble because sometimes I'll look at a three and know exactly what they're up to, but with him, it's there's some blurriness going on.
are they but do they have like seven or one or eight in their type?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the
Because I
list
feel
of
like
all of them.
threes are way more obvious when they're like one or eight fixed. And
Yeah, that's
seven,
true.
even but you know what, even seven fixed three, sometimes I'm like, I can't tell if this is a three or a seven.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's I guess like yeah, I guess if we like zoom in though, it's like he kind of does seem like attachment, social attachment, competency, and then he just has this weird edge to him that's like his kind of I think it's his shadow type shit that comes out in his art, which is also something that like really happens. Like if you think about like, is it Robert Eggers? Is he what is he? Is he a 6'5" or something? I don't know. But he makes really fucking weird and it almost like kind of has this aesthetic actually, like the lighthouse.
Mm.
Have you seen that?
Hmm.
And he's doing the Nosfer. Is he doing Nosferatu? I don't know. But there's like a whole thing I think that he's tapped into that like isn't given credit to when it's like 6'5" and 3'4". There's like a whole thing that goes on, I think. But given credit by who, I don't know. Just the micro niche that we're in.
Yeah. I need to see more social self-pres 4 wing threes to compare to him because I don't know very many.
Morrissey. Morrissey.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Morrissey.
and if you watch videos of him, he's just like, oh, but I don't know. Oh, like those awful
Um,
people, and oh, like, and it's so melodramatic, and it's like the
That's
sharks part
true.
open, and oh, I'm so put upon. Like, there's just so much of a vibe going. Like, that's why I love.
That is definitely true. And is he 4'6'9" or is he 4'6'1"?
I think he's one fixed, yeah.
One fix, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see that.
But it's like I love him. He's so entertaining.
I
Um,
know, he's awesome.
and I think that's the thing too, is like frustration types are entertaining. Like 1, 4, and 7. They're fucking entertaining because they're
Yeah,
so annoyed with everything.
that's true. And yeah, I don't get that off the top from him.
No.
He's hiding it.
Yeah, he's totally hiding it.
Well, if he's 3'6'9", he'd be a new flavor with all those weird wings that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, I think so.
3'6".
It's like an arachnid spider kind of. Um, I also kind of like this actually for 3 wing 4 because it's like I'm bearing myself. I have a 3 friend that I talk to sometimes, and we've like had conversations about how threes can make these announcements about like I'm going great. Oh, just lost my ring. It's like their new identity. It's like I'm being raw, I'm being real. I'm
Hmm.
finally like I'm being authentic, and it's like kind of almost what he's doing where it's like you can see my scar or my birthmark. I'm being authentic.
Oh, right. I didn't even notice that. God, he blends so much into normalcy, I didn't even notice.
And then he's got like his steampunk thing. I don't even know what this is for, but this is making
Yeah,
me want
it's
to listen to
just.
some Billy. He's
Oh, I love that
he
video.
does have that beautiful 3 wing 4 face in some things when he's younger.
I love that video.
And his stuff is always like very heart feeling to me. Like his music is very like this
Yeah.
forlorn, like sort of heart connecting kind of. I almost
Hmm.
feel like 3 wing 4s are probably more pain than 4 wing 3s are
Right.
because they're not actually showing it all, and 4s are just like performatively. I mean, it's like authentic to them, but it's like melodrama, you know? Anyway, okay. So that is our typing of Billy Corgan. Social self pres, 3 wing 4, 6 wing 5, 9 wing 1. Let us know what you think in the
Wait.
comments. Stop.
Now to the real